The bright lights of the Hollywood studio beamed down like artificial suns, casting a professional glow over the polished stage where history and hilarity were about to intertwine. This was the place where secrets were shared and laughter was the universal currency. The atmosphere was electric, filled with the hum of cameras and the hushed anticipation of a live audience. From the heart of Hollywood, the familiar theme music began to swell, signaling the start of another episode of the Newlywed Game. The announcer voice boomed through the rafters, welcoming everyone to the show and introducing the stars of the day. There were 4 couples, each representing a different stage of their early journey in holy matrimony. Couple number 1 consisted of Shelley and Jeff Toole, who had tied the knot 11 months ago. They looked at each other with the steady gaze of people who had navigated nearly a full year of domestic life. Couple number 2, Kim and Emil Menzies, had walked down the aisle 23,111 months ago, a figure that suggested a long and storied history together. Couple number 3, Charmaine and Gary Bartlett, had said their vows 5,111 months ago, while couple number 4, Lana and Dodd Moore, had exchanged rings 3,111 months ago. Then, the man of the hour stepped onto the stage. Bob Eubanks, the legendary host, moved with a practiced grace that only decades of television experience could provide. He smiled at the camera, his eyes twinkling with the promise of the fun to come. He thanked the audience warmly and turned his attention to the 4 pairs of newlyweds sitting before him. He asked if they were ready to play, and a chorus of enthusiastic yeses filled the air. Bob explained the rules with clarity. To begin the contest, the ladies would be escorted to a soundproof room, leaving the husbands alone on stage to face the first round of questioning. As the wives departed, Bob turned to the gentlemen. He reminded them that the goal was to predict exactly how their wives would answer. Each match would earn them 5 points, and the couple with the highest score at the conclusion of the evening would win a magnificent second honeymoon. The stakes were high, but the mood remained light and celebratory. Bob leaned in and delivered the first 5-point question. He asked the husbands to describe their wives' bedroom behavior by comparing them to a lioness. He gave them 3 specific options. Was it the way she claws, the way she bites, or the way she pounces? Doug, representing couple number 4, was the first to speak. He chose the way she pounces, explaining with a grin that she was often all over him. Bob moved to Gary, who took a different path. Gary claimed his wife was a clawer, citing her serious nails as evidence. Emil, the husband of couple number 2, returned to the first option, stating that his wife pounces. He added a comment about her stature, noting that while she was not a large woman, she certainly was not small either. Finally, Jeff from couple number 1 agreed with the pouncing theme. He described her energy with a level of detail that made Bob chuckle, suggesting it was perhaps a bit more information than the general public required, though it was all in the spirit of good fun. The second question shifted the focus to the past, specifically to the rumors that circulated before the weddings. Bob asked the men to identify the juiciest rumor they had heard about their future wives before getting engaged, something they chose to overlook because of their love. Gary mentioned a rumor that his wife had been seeing someone else. Emil's answer was more unexpected, mentioning a rumor regarding his wife's preferences that Bob admitted he had never heard in all his years on the show. Jeff shared a story about his wife and her stepmother visiting a bar in Seattle, while Doug kept it general, suggesting he had heard that his wife got around a little bit, though he emphasized it was only a rumor. The final question of the opening round focused on the art of charm. Bob asked the men to complete a sentence. The best way to charm the pants off my wife is to just talk about blank. Emil focused on the long term, suggesting future goals. Jeff and Gary both gave a more direct, singular answer, sex. Doug, however, took the question quite literally, claiming that talking about his own body was the key to his wife's heart. Bob teased him about his literal interpretation as the segment drew to a close. Before the reunion of the couples, a series of messages filled the screen, reminding the viewers of the world outside the studio. There were advertisements for the Power XL self-cleaning juicer, a machine designed to transform health by extracting vitamins from whole fruits and vegetables. The commercial touted its 1200 watts of power and its ability to clean itself with the simple press of a button. There were also glimpses of beautiful Balsam Hill trees and the simple joy of giving an Omaha Steaks gift during the holiday season. The ladies returned to the stage, unaware of what their husbands had disclosed. Bob greeted them warmly and began the process of checking for matches. He asked Shelley about the lioness question. She confidently chose the way she claws, explaining that her hands often ended up down Jeff's back. However, Jeff had predicted she would say pounce. A playful disagreement ensued, with Shelley pointing out that she only pounced because Jeff would not jump on her first. Kim was next, and she correctly matched Emil's prediction of pouncing, earning them 5 points. Charmaine also matched Gary's prediction of clawing, confirming that she indeed left marks. Lana followed suit, matching Doug's prediction of pouncing, much to the delight of the audience. The mood became more tense as Bob moved to the question about the rumors. Kim clarified that what Emil thought was a rumor was actually a known fact about dating a cousin, but she was shocked when Bob revealed Emil's actual answer regarding high school rumors. A spirited exchange followed, with Emil trying to explain that rumors are, by definition, not true. Charmaine could not match Gary's answer about dating someone else, instead focusing on the sheer number of people she had dated. Lana and Shelley also failed to match their husbands' specific stories, leading to moments of light-hearted confusion and mock indignation on stage. The final 5-point question about charm brought some success. Charmaine and Gary matched on the topic of sex, as did Shelley and Jeff. Lana, however, thought money was the key, while Doug had stuck to his story about his own body. Kim suggested that sweet poetry was her motivation, which stood in stark contrast to Emil's practical answer of future goals. The show paused again for a moving tribute to the work of Shriners Hospitals for Children. Brave young individuals shared their stories of overcoming physical challenges with the help of the hospital's dedicated staff. They spoke of the confidence they gained and the milestones they achieved, like walking for the first time or earning a black belt in martial arts. The audience was encouraged to support this noble cause, especially during the Christmas season. This was followed by a brief look at the Nutrisystem program, showing how people had regained control of their health and lost weight through structured meal plans. Back in the studio, the game reached its second half. Now, it was the ladies' turn to make predictions about their husbands' responses, with each match now worth 10 points. Bob asked if their husbands needed more practice beginning, ending, or doing it when it came to romance. Charmaine and Kim both chose ending it, with Charmaine jokingly suggesting the process was too short. Shelley and Lana both felt their husbands needed more practice with the beginning, wanting them to take more initiative. The next question concerned accidents. Bob asked the wives to identify the last accident their husbands had that made them laugh, even if the men found it unfunny. Kim remembered Emil spitting out juice. Shelley recalled Jeff stubbing his toe on items he had left on the floor. Lana mentioned Doug tripping while running up the stairs, and Charmaine described a messy incident involving a car, a sudden stop, and a spilled drink. The final regular question was a fill in the blank. The wives were asked to complete the sentence. My husband probably thinks I could use a blank job, but the truth is, I think he could use a what job even more. The answers were diverse and hilarious. Shelley mentioned a part-time job for herself and an enlargement job for Jeff. Lana suggested a cleaning job for herself and a part-time job for Doug. Charmaine mentioned a weight job for herself and a hair job for Gary. Kim thought Emil would suggest a cleaning job for her, while she felt he needed an attitude job. Before the grand finale, the show took a moment to showcase the potential prize, a trip to the island of Maui, staying at the Maui Islander in the heart of Old Lahaina. The description of the lush, tropical setting and the proximity to the harbor painted a picture of pure relaxation. The bonus question worth 25 points was simple yet decisive. What kind of milk is in your refrigerator most often? Skim, 1%, 2%, whole, or no milk? Emil and Kim both said whole milk, bringing their total to 30 points. Gary and Charmaine also matched with whole milk, reaching 35 points. Jeff and Shelley matched on 2%, giving them 40 points. The pressure was on Doug and Lana, who had 55 points. Doug confidently answered whole milk, but the card revealed that Lana had said 2%. The audience gasped as the final scores were tallied. Because of that final miss, the consistent performance of Jeff and Shelley Toole made them the grand prize winners of the Newlywed game. Bob Eubanks congratulated the winners and thanked all the couples for their participation. He signed off with his signature warmth, wishing the audience well until next time. The cameras panned out, capturing the laughter and the friendly banter of the couples as the credits began to roll, ending another day of love and laughter in Hollywood.